you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Marina Grosser from Washington, D.C. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. After his weekly general audience, Pope Francis directed his thoughts to the numerous nations suffering from the atrocities of war. The Holy Father called the faithful to offer prayers for world peace and for those nations that are fighting, especially in the Holy Land, Sudan and Ukraine. Meanwhile, as the Israel-Hamas conflict rages on, the World Council of Churches is urging the international community to recommit itself to a just and lasting peace in the Holy Land and is joining the calls for a humanitarian truce. The ecumenical body issued a statement in which it voiced its grave concerns about the increasing number of innocent civilian casualties, destruction, and pain caused by both sides. Separately, the executive director of UNICEF is demanding that the children in the beleaguered Gaza Strip be protected, claiming that they have nowhere safe to go. Calling for an immediate ceasefire, the director also urged the release of kidnapped minors and secure, unhindered access for humanitarian workers. Responding to an inquiry from Filipino Bishop Julito Cortez, the Dicastery for the Doctrine of the Faith, with the endorsement of Pope Francis, has reiterated the incompatibility between the Catholic faith and membership in Masonic lodges. In a document signed by the prefect, Cardinal Victor Fernandez, the Dicastery addressed Bishop Cortez's concerns about the increasing number of Catholics joining Freemasonry in Dumaguete Diocese. The Dicastery recommended that the Philippine bishops conduct widespread catechesis in all parishes, explaining the reasons for the irreconcilability between the Catholic faith and Freemasonry. The Dicastery encouraged bishops to consider a public pronouncement on the issue. The United States Conference of Catholic Bishops has approved the revised voting guide titled Forming Consciences for Faithful Citizenship, affirming abortion as the preeminent priority of concern. This decision was made at their annual plenary held in Baltimore, Maryland. The guide also identifies euthanasia, terrorism, human trafficking, gun violence, and the death penalty as other grave threats to the life and dignity of the human person. Additionally, the bishops voted to approve several brief excerpts from the guide to be inserted into parish bulletins during the upcoming election cycle. One of the newly approved bulletin inserts addresses the Church's opposition to gender ideology. The left, which is part of the coalition expected to form Poland's next government, has introduced two bills to liberalize the country's abortion restrictions on the first day of Parliament. One bill proposes legalizing elective abortions up to 12 weeks after pregnancy, and the other seeks to abolish laws that criminally penalize individuals assisting in carrying out illegal abortions. Currently, abortion in Poland is permitted only in cases where the pregnancy is a result of a criminal act or when the woman's life or health is in danger. Bishop Paul McAleenan of the UK and lead bishop for migrants and refugees for the Bishops' Conference has welcomed the Supreme Court's ruling that the government's plan to send some asylum seekers to Rwanda is unlawful. Bishop McAleenan emphasized the significance of respecting the innate human dignity of those seeking sanctuary. He stated, "I am greatly relieved that the proposal to send those seeking asylum to Rwanda has been ruled unlawful. This was a policy that ignored the innate human dignity of those seeking sanctuary." While acknowledging the positive outcome of the Supreme Court ruling, Bishop McAleenan highlighted the ongoing commitment to advocate for an immigration system that places the human person at its core. He stressed that refugees are human beings made in the image and likeness of God, not mere political problems to be solved. The bishop also took a moment to commend the noteworthy efforts of Catholic charities and civil society organizations that play a crucial role in assisting migrants and refugees upon their arrival in the UK. The anti-Catholic persecution by Nicaraguan President Daniel Ortega is part of an extensive pattern posing a risk to democracy, according to experts on a Georgetown University panel. The panel discussion was part of Georgetown's Dahlgren Dialogue series, co-sponsored by the Office of Mission and Ministry and the Initiative on Catholic Social Thought and Public Life. The panel featured Jesuit Father Matthew Carnes, an associate professor in the Department of Government and the Walsh School of Foreign Service at Georgetown University, Raina Guidos, the Latin American regional correspondent for Global Sisters Report, a student, and Representative Jim McGovern, who once oversaw an investigation into the murders of 6 Jesuit priests, their housekeeper, and her daughter in El Salvador. Father Karnas said that democracies used to end when armies toppled a nation's ruler. However, these days, democracies are collapsing because elected leaders are destroying them from within, as is in the case with Nicaragua. March for Life President Jeannie Mancini has expressed her sorrow over the death of 8-month-old Indy Gregory, who was taken off of life support in the UK. In an interview with Fox News Digital, the pro-life advocate disguised the UK's court's mandate to end the baby's life. She drew parallels between Indy's tragic fate and that of Charlie Gard, a young boy from the UK who was denied transfer from the country in a similar situation. The baby girl, suffering from a rare degenerative mitochondrial disease, has been receiving life-sustaining treatment at the Queen's Medical Centre in Nottingham. Indy passed away on Monday in the hospice to which she had been transferred over the weekend, following the UK High Court's decision on November 10th to immediately withdraw her life support. Her father, Dean Gregory, who was not religious, decided to baptize Indy on September 22nd at the suggestion of a Christian volunteer who visited Indy daily at the neonatal intensive care unit. Her father described that his time in court fighting for his daughter's life felt like he had been dragged to hell. He said, "I've seen what hell is like, and I want Indy to go to heaven." He added that he also decided to be baptized and to baptize his surviving daughter, saying, "We want to be protected in this life and go to heaven." The Brazilian National Congress is currently reviewing a proposed bill that seeks to mandate the inclusion of warnings about abortion in the nation directly on pregnancy test kits. The suggested warning would emphasize the potential risks to the mother's life during the abortion procedure and highlight that engaging in induced abortion could lead to a legal sentence of 1 to 3 years in prison. Representative Paulo Fernando, the sponsor of the bill, asserts that providing this additional information directly on the pregnancy test kits would assist parents in making informed decisions. The legislation aims to contribute to a broader public awareness of the consequences associated with abortion. The internationally acclaimed human rights lawyer Nasrin Sotoudeh was recently released from an Iranian prison. Sotoudeh, who's 60 years old, has been arrested on October 29th while attending the funeral of Armida Garawand, a woman whom activists allege was killed by Tehran's morality police. Sotoudeh has been a vocal supporter of women's rights, earning recognition through prestigious awards, including the Sakharov Prize from the European Parliament in 2012 and the Right Livelihood Award in 2020. When it comes to teaching children about faith, Spy Kids actress Alexa Penavega is setting an example. In the recent interview with Fox News Digital, Penavega emphasized the importance of leading by example and living out her faith in front of her children. She underscored the significance of demonstrating her relationship with God. Penavega shared that she often prays aloud, allowing her children to hear her conversations with God during various daily activities. Additionally, she addressed the challenges of practicing faith in an industry not particularly conducive to it, stating that families are not the primary target audience. Through her work with World Vision, a Christian humanitarian organization, Penavega has been actively contributing and sponsoring families. And those are your latest headlines. Join us again tomorrow for more. You can also visit us at swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.